This is going to be a little different one today. Welcome to Places of Integrity with the Amish. And so I think I'm going to go on a little walk. You don't get background. So, Luke, what would you like to accomplish in today's podcast?
It seems like there's some beef, you could call it, between me and my brother. I'd like to figure out what I could do to maybe not make it go away or help it and figure it out, resolve it.
Do you understand? Do you understand the benefit of the beef?
Not really.
Kenny, do you understand the benefit of the beef? The conflict?
I think so. I think it's like if you have an issue and you get it out. Or I don't know. I think that's what brothers do. That's what brothers are for.
See, it's interesting because there's a passage in the Bible where it says a brother is born for adversity. So I thought for, I don't know, 20 years, no, 40, maybe 50 years, long time. That what that meant is a brother is a brother is born to bring adversity to you. That's what I was thinking. And so, but Pastor James McDonald once in a sermon, he went ahead and said, a brother is born to be there in adversity. This has not been my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least my interpretation of experience. And my interpretation of experience, my three brothers have seem to be to create adversity in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm at independent camp, lake camp in Pennsylvania, in the Pokemon, I don't know how to pronounce it, mountains. So it's interesting because I'm here with my brother Ken, my wife, my son-in-law, daughter, 2 grandkids, and Norman, which is Jason's, brother. He works here. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and write a letter to Mr. and Mrs. Miller, Norman's and Jason's parents, and thank them for the investment they made into their boys. I mean, it is insane to me. Can you guys see anything or not?
Yeah, I see some.
Do you see my face or do you see the landscape?
A landscape now.
You guys haven't seen any of the lands. You're just looking at me.
No, I'm looking at the landscape.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Oh, great. Now I got to go back and rewalk the area. Okay. So it is crazy to like my two granddaughters, Jason and Melissa, are blessed beyond anything they could possibly imagine. I mean, just so I don't think that, my parents, Ralph and Karen Boersma, I don't think that they went ahead and taught us how to deal with conflict very well. And so here it is. I'll try it again. You guys can see the camp sign?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I don't think that they went ahead and taught us kids how to deal with conflict. I think my dad's philosophy was just stuff it, don't say anything, just deal with it, just don't address conflict. Like, just don't do it. And so I don't know. My approach is just totally opposite. I don't know where I picked it up. I don't think I picked it up from anywhere. It's just, we're out here for a funeral of my dad's oldest brother. My dad passed away like 8 years ago. His oldest brother was 85 years old. And he had 10 kids. It was pretty crazy. So I don't look at conflict as being bad. I think it reveals, it's like a cut. It's like a cut in your, arm. It's not, the cut isn't inherently bad. You don't like cuts, but they happen. They have bunk beds in the dorms. And McCann and Elena are climbing on the bunk beds, and Elaine is little. She's 2, and she's struggling. She's struggling with getting down. Norman's watching her. I'm watching. We're like, she's not getting that, but she makes it. Norman kind of sees her and helps her and says, "Honey, put your leg down a little bit. This and this." I don't know. It's just crazy to me. They have like 350 acres here. A 75-acre pond or lake, 75-acre lake. They're always building something. They have Amish made cabins that they make, and then they ship them in. And they're building stuff like that building over there. They contracted all this stuff out. Like, it's pretty crazy. There's so much business opportunity out here. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So when we had the kids from Israel come over and come over from Israel and Palestine, and we had the Lakota Indian reservation. So we had like, I don't know, 15 kids stay at our house overnight. They didn't know each other. I mean, the Palestinian, Israeli, and the others didn't. And so I built this conflict resolution model, and it didn't seem to work for my family, my kids. So there's a part of me that says, Mark, you are so inept at being able to do that. So, that's why having, your brother listen to this, I don't know, will this help? I don't know. Kenny, what would you like to accomplish today?
I would say, well, I've been thinking about this for a while. It's like, why do people get married?
Well, this is the Amish, not the young men. I mean, I
Right.
suppose there's Amish young men. So I don't know. You guys are Amish, so you guys go ahead and tell me, if I should be honest or not. Amish are very much like Baptist, and that's how I was raised. And so Baptist is like they teach, it's so confusing to children. They teach the values of being honest, but then you can't be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if I should be honest in that answer to that question or not. Hope I don't fall off the dock. You guys carry on if I do.
Okay.
So I don't know. You guys can tell me if I should I give a Baptist answer or should I give the truth? I mean, not and
I
I
would,
say the truth. I'm not saying for everybody. I'm just saying for me. He just
I
brought
would,
the book yesterday. That's
See,
I would
great.
say
Go ahead.
the truth, but that's up to you. If it's too harsh, then people don't have to listen to this podcast.
So I just gonna warn everybody. Like I don't need a lot to go ahead and encourage me to be truthful. Um, and so Luke's encouraged me. You know, so listen. Like don't listen if you don't want to. That's fine. If you do, don't like it. Like I realized my sleep last night. Like how much people miss. I don't know. Understand me. Like they misread me. They like I say something and they're not curious. What does that mean, Mark? Like they assume the worst. It's just like, really? And so, you know, uh, the number one reason, I got married without question again, just warning, you can pause it or whatever. Probably won't go more than 2-3 minutes. The part that you likely will be offended by or judge me or like you don't understand. You don't understand my heart, but you still judge me. It's like, really? Anyways, number one reason without question that I got married was for sex. When I say sex, I don't mean the act of sex. I mean the intimacy, the connection, the oneness. So for me, I made a decision that I wasn't going to have sex until marriage. And um so that's the decision I made. And that's why I encourage other young men to make that decision too, because it's cool. And to wait until marriage. And then, then for women too, definitely I'd encourage you as much or more than men because it's just a big motivation for men to get married. It just is. And so, but what are other reasons? You know, I mean, there was a connection between my wife and I the first time I saw her. But then there were some things that I said, yeah, not sure. So I had, you know, then I won't go into the whole story, maybe another podcast. But, you know, so for me, it's a life mate. It's like, man, we're going into our, like this August is going to be 40 years. And, you know, and it's like, it's so amazing. Like the memories and the depth of the relationship. And, you know, like it's crazy. Like my uncle, he was married for 64 years to his wife. Like it's just, you know, and so we've learned in other podcasts that opposites tend to attract. We fall in love with people who are like us, or we like people who are like us. We fall in love with people who are opposite of us. It's like they complete us. It's like my wife's strengths are my weaknesses. My strengths, you know, are her weaknesses. And so we're completed. Like when we're in alignment, you know, when we're in alignment, it's insane when we're in flow. And when it's not, it's like when we're in flow, it's like heaven on earth. But a lot of times we're not. It seems like hell. And so, but when you make a lifelong commitment, I don't know, coming up on the trapeze, they have circus here. You can learn how to do, like Jason yesterday. He went on there. They tried to shame me, height shame me. Man, you guys would like this here. So you jump off the top and you go on a trapeze. Norman, I guess, is flipped or he got caught by somebody else. They have magic here. They have all kinds of different things. Normally, to go to the camp, I think it's $2,700 a week. And you have all these different things that you can do. They have people from all over the world. Like when we get here, like we meet somebody from Poland, we meet somebody from a bunch of people from Australia, somebody from London. Like it's like a international camp. So it's like Kenny, like Stan Lambert said, you know, don't marry, what was it? Don't marry someone that you can live with. You know, marry someone you can't live without. I think that's what he said.
Yeah. Yep.
And so the challenge is in today's society, things get hard and, you know, one or both parties give up. So going back to yours, Luke, like in the wild, like a lion cub, they fight with other lion cubs. I mean, the conflict that Elena and Micaiah have, like a 4-year-old sister and a 2-year-old sister, it is insane on how amazing they play together. You know, how amazing they play together and how brutal they are to one another. So, you know, I think it gives you practice with him and your other siblings. I think it gives you practice to, it's going to be really important in how to deal with your marriage, your future marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Another question that I've had is like, okay, I'm an expressive. So what if I get married and 5 years down the road I get bored? Like, does that happen? Does that not? I don't get bored, but like it's no longer good, or it's no longer fun, or it's. I've heard pastors say that, or I was talking with him and he told me that marriage is supposed to be like a blast.
Really? Huh. Well, if you consider massive conflict where you've never had pain, anything like you've ever had before in your life, where you just don't know if you're going to make it, don't know if you're going to survive, a blast, and I'd say, oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more.
Okay. Why why do you say that, or like is that what marriage is?
Well, there's parts of marriage that are like that. There's other parts that you feel like you're in heaven. Like you cannot put into words the pleasure, physical, emotional, relationship, spiritual. You can't put into words to describe what marriage is like on the ecstasy side. I'm talking not just sexually, I'm talking like the whole experience of marriage. But
Hmm.
without question, the sexual part, you know, that God gave that as an amazing gift to marriage to go ahead and, you know, make fights worth making up for. Seriously. Like, okay, we can have makeup sex. It's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Um, and so, but equally on the downside of it, for what gives great pleasure, there's great pain. Now, again, I'm talking for my marriage and the marriage, the people I know deeply, you know, I would say anybody I know deeply, that's true for them. Now, it may not be true for everybody. I mean, my mom and dad, you know, my mom and my dad wouldn't disagree, said that they didn't have fights for the first, I don't know, 20, 30, they were married 55 years. They didn't have fights for the first 30 years of their marriage. They just didn't. And I believe them. But then
So
after 30 years, then some messy stuff happened in the church with a bunch of women who were jealous of my mom. And they talked to their husbands, and their husbands talked to my dad about how, you know, my dad was a pastor, how my mom was running my dad in the church. And everything changed. Everything got messy. I mean, the last month of my dad's life, you know, the last month of my dad's life, sometime we'll have a podcast on that. It was amazing to see how messy it was after 55 years, and my dad's dying, my mom's dying. They're both on hospice together. And it's like, there's the go-karts over there. Um, it was funny. They were talking about, Norman was saying, we ought to go ahead and bring in an Amish crew. Man, they'd whip that building together in no time. Like, and the owner, he's like, absolutely. So there's talk about coming in the fall and having a crew come, maybe, I don't know, maybe exchange services or something where you go ahead and, like, Norman's been here for 5 years, I think, working. And we're the first family that, has come here. And man, they love him here. Holy cow, do they love him. Man, oh man. Like everybody talks well of Norman. Everybody likes him a lot. We have been greeted and treated like royalty here. Amazing place. All right, so anything else in closing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a hard time processing everything that's going on in my head and heart. Glad I had this podcast today. Help me kind of have therapy. If you have any questions, pass it along to others. Like, if you have any questions, connect with the individual. I invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300 outside the US 630-393-9909. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.